Hello and welcome to Fear Me. This is a Jeff the Killer dating sim. Yep, you heard that right. It's real. And look, he's following my mouse. So this said, okay, so fair warning. This said there was 18 plus. Like there was like a lot of little viewer discretion advised warnings. I mean, this game includes violence, gore, murder, stalking, abuse, manipulation, major character death. Mature audiences only, 18 plus. Okay, well, you guys had your warning. Now I'm kind of scared to hit the start button. But okay, sure. Let's go ahead. Let's do this. Easy mode on. Or I think that's just like means wait, what does easy mode mean? Oh, okay. So easy mode, it lets you know when you win Jeff's affection and when your decisions don't kill you. It gives you like a +1 you live little notification. And if you don't have that on, then you're kind of just in the dark. So I'm going to keep that on then. I think that's very helpful to get a little pop-up or something right after I make a choice to see if I made the right choice. I think that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to leave that on. The room was silent, illuminated by the warm midday light filtering through the window. You looked anywhere but your therapist. You didn't yet feel comfortable enough to speak freely. Attending these sessions felt like a chore. More than your own good, it seemed like a way to keep an eye on you. The therapist. You know you have no obligation to talk about him. The therapist watched you patiently, leaning calmly against the back of his armchair. You can talk about whatever you want. You scoffed ironically, offering no reply. It had been 7 days. Enough time for someone to change, don't you think? 7... What? I don't know the context. But that sounds way too short. I don't know the context yet. Maybe the therapist is cooking. I don't know. But to me right now, 7 days... Okay. You know what? I'll hold my tongue. I won't say anything. Instinctively, you raise your hand to the left side of your face, where a patch covered your left eye. He hurt you. There's no doubt about it. The police, the hospital, everyone has their version, but I want yours. Oh, okay. So... So, I have a patch on my left eye. Someone hurt me. I'm assuming they took my eye or hurt or injured my eye. And you just said to me 7 days. You know what? I'm holding my tongue. I'm gonna let it cook. You shrugged. That's fine. Silence is an answer. You looked towards the window. Your reflection silhouette was visible in the glass. Even though you couldn't see yourself clearly, your posture and expression were noticeably different from a week ago. Day 1. The start of your shift is like your life's start button. You have a clear routine. Wake up, work, and sleep. You have no legacy, no ambitions, no pending matters. Wait, I'm gonna save here. Because this is the start. This is the start of our life. Also, I'm a little stuffy, if you have noticed. I took an allergy pill. My nose is stuffy. I just started my period. So I'm like all over. I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm like raw. I'm raw dog in this recording. I'm as raw as you could ever have. So I'm bloated as well. My face looks rounder than usual. My nose looks bigger. It's just like as soon as I get on my period, everything about me is larger and worse, and I'm covered in acne. I'm struggling right now. So I think this is very much needed. Like a really funny, it's not supposed to be a funny game, but I'm already laughing. So yeah, let's enjoy this interesting Jeff the Killer dating sim together and not die. Also, I got these mugs from Urban Outfitters like years ago. They don't exist anymore. I also got a pair of pants that I really love from Urban Outfitters. They don't exist anymore. So if you find something you like, You better get multiples because it won't exist anymore. I learned that the hard way. After finding the perfect pair of pants that fit me perfectly, they don't exist anymore because they're like, it's done. Like, okay, let's continue. You fulfilled your duties as a student and finished school, but you lack the motivation to pursue a dream or a goal beyond where you are now. That's okay. You feel as if you don't have a starring role in the world because nothing special has happened to you yet. In fact, one could say you let apathy guide you. An apathy that numbs your strong emotions. A roller coaster ride? Pleasant. You trip and fall face first in public? Not the end of the world. Positive or negative, your emotional range was very low. Like a perfect blank canvas. Anyway, try to make your life as comfortable as possible. As strange as it sounds, you work at a video store that only attracts nostalgics and cinephiles. I hate that. I hate that word so much. I hate it when someone calls himself an audiophile or a cinephile. You just like movies, bro. Like you... yeah, like, you don't have to add the ending there. Why can't you just be like, I like movies? Like a normal person. Like, my passion is movies. Whatever. That's just my little 2 cents there. Oh, I love movies too. I mean, yeah. What else am I gonna do with my free time? The main reason you took the job is because you like it. You can spend hours watching movies and never get bored. Yeah, you got some Blu-rays here, dude. Unless these are... Yeah, these are Blu-rays. Blu-rays and PlayStation games. I'm so stuffed. Yeah, these are Blu-rays. Better get your Blu-rays. The place is colorful enough to not depress you just by being there. And if you're lucky, you might run into an interesting character or two. Of course, besides the characters that already exist. Cindy. Catching up on lost time. I love her earrings though, and her piercings. Very cute. For a moment, I thought you wouldn't come. Cindy, your coworker. She's not very good at her job, which is saying a lot since being an attendant at a time-lost store doesn't require much effort, but she's the owner's daughter. You're the other full-time employee. You do well. You two don't get along great, nor terribly. You tolerate each other. That's fine. Where's your badge? Instinctively, you reach for your neck, and indeed, your employee badge wasn't there. It's strange, but I feel like I can't say your name without your badge. Cindy shrugged and retreated to the back room with a box full of movies. Somehow, what she said made sense. It was as if you couldn't remember your own name unless it was written right in front of you. As if names only existed if someone else spoke them out loud. Well, you remember taking out of your things when you arrived, so it was most likely still in the store. Oh. Oh, cool. Okay. Back room. It's an employee area, I assume. Maybe you dropped in the back room, but you only found Cindy looking at her phone next to the boxes she's taken back. Cindy gave you a quick glance, then went back to ignoring you. You followed her example and focused on finding your badge. Nope, it wasn't there. I mean, I'm not mad at her for taking out her phone in the back room if it's like a dead shop that they work at. It's probably boring as heck. Let them have some free time. Maybe I put it at the counter. Check behind the counter. Nothing on the floor. Okay, aisle 1. Among the shelves full of action movies, your badge is nowhere to be found. Aisle 2. You lean down to try and get a better look at the floor, hoping your badge was around somewhere. You move down the small aisle, determined, past shelves packed with horror and thriller movies, until you spotted the unmistakable piece of plastic, almost at the end of the aisle. You were reaching for your badge, but a white hand got there first, slowly picking up the plastic piece. The way he's just... You looked up and found yourself facing a tall, hooded man with his face covered. Like, he's just glaring at me, bro. I just got here. He looked like a potential criminal or someone with a bad cold. You didn't have the energy to worry. You straightened up, standing face to face. The man seemed to ignore you, more interested in your badge in his hand. Is this yours? His voice, muffled by fabric, was deep and slightly raspy. You nodded silently, looking at the man suspiciously. By the way, he cocked his head. Prove it. Now you could finally visualize your name. Your name is Soggy. The man looked at the badge in silence, and for a moment you truly thought you might have been wrong after all, but then he offered you the piece of plastic. All right, Soggy. You took the badge in your hands, giving the guy a look. You mock him. Yeah, I'll save here. Mock him. Who are you, the badge security? He liked it. So he likes being bullied? Okay. The man shrugged, unconcerned. Okay, what does Jeff the Killer's, what's he supposed to sound like? They said he sounded raspy. In my head, Jeff the Killer sounds like, I just wanted to make sure I gave it to the right person. In my head, he's so Joker. But then they said he sounded raspy. What does Jeff sound like? I'm not going to look it up. No, I'm not looking it up. I'm not going to look up what everyone's headcanon of Jeff the Killer's voice is like. I just wanted to make sure I gave it to the right person. I clearly work here. He chuckled. Yeah, but it could have belonged to someone else. It literally has my photo printed on it. The man waved it off dismissively. Would you have preferred I gave your badge to just any uniformed person who claimed it was theirs? His logic was strangely convincing. I guess not. The man cocked his head with a smirk. You couldn't see it through the bandana, but you knew he was smiling. See, I'm not so bad. The fact that he said that made you think the opposite. You suddenly put the badge around your neck while he remained motionless in his spot. I'm putting the badge around my thing and he's just like this. You slowly moved towards the counter. The guy stared at you as you moved, which only made your discomfort worse. You decided to ignore him, shifting your attention to one of the monitors next to you. You could, if the hooded guy from before would stop wandering around the store, go suspiciously. You tried your best to ignore him, but it was impossible not to notice him. Yeah, it's hard to not notice a guy who's like... Maybe he was doing it on purpose. Hey, Soggy. At the sound of your name, you looked up at Cindy, who'd come around the counter to stand next to you. Did you see that guy? He's been here for a long time. You looked where she was steadily pointing, and of course, she was talking about the same guy. Yeah, I saw him. You shrugged. A very logical reaction, right? Maybe he's deciding what to buy. He was probably just a weirdo you'd see once. No big deal. Anyway, Cindy, as annoying as she was, wasn't easily flustered. He's just a weirdo. We see those every day. But this one feels different. You were starting to believe Cindy had watched many movies, but then you remember she didn't like cinema and only worked in her dad's store. When I talked to him, he didn't seem dangerous. Cindy turned to you surprised. Yeah, maybe listen to Cindy, bro. Like, you talked to him? Did he say anything strange? No, actually, he was like, he didn't say anything strange. I don't think he was just like, why would I give this badge to any uniformed person? And I don't think anything he said was strange. He didn't say anything strange. He just did. No. He just gave me back my badge. Why did he have it? I mean, he grabbed it first. Look, it wasn't a big deal. Cindy looked at you in silence for a few seconds, then sighed. If he makes you uncomfortable, I can ask him to leave. Cindy shook her head, glancing at the guy. You're probably right. Okay, I'll leave you to it. I'll go check the inventory. Sure. You settled into your designated chair, and before you could pretend to look at receipts, Cindy spoke again. But if he does anything suspicious, let me know, okay? I love Cindy! Like, you guys may just tolerate each other, but has your back immediately. She's like, if anything is weird happening, like she clocks a weird guy, checking if like you're okay, and then she's like, also, if anything is going on that's weird, speak to me immediately, you know? I love Cindy. She's awesome. You nodded slightly. Cindy didn't wait for a verbal response. She just went back to her task. You kept your eyes fixed on the monitor screen for a moment. Out of the corner of your eye, you glanced at the aisles. The guy was still there, just standing. He was looking at the shelf that held nothing particularly interesting. And then he looked at you. It wasn't a quick or distracted glance. It was direct. Tell Cindy immediately. Meet his gaze. You returned his gaze with the same intensity. You didn't know if you were doing it out of bravery, stubbornness, or simple curiosity. But he didn't blink. And then he made a slight gesture. An almost imperceptible nod of the head. Imperceptible? Look, English is my first language. I'm still learning it. As if he were greeting you. You decided to ignore him, turning your attention back to the monitor to remove the CD from the player. As you put the CD back in its case, you looked at your options. Oh. Fantasy. You felt like escaping reality into magical worlds and extraordinary creatures. So you pick a movie and watch it for the rest of your shift. Your workday was over. All in all, it was quiet. Night had fallen, but there was no reason to worry since you lived a few blocks away. Some things were just convenient like that. This week, it was Cindy's turn to close the store. If anything happens to Cindy, I'm locking him up. You better not touch Cindy. You leave Cindy alone. She's a girl's girl. If anything happens to Cindy, I will be mad. Since you two almost had the same position, you decided that closing duties would be by turns. That's fair. So you had your things ready to go home. Like, even if she's like the kid of the owner of the store, she's still doing her job. Like, she doesn't seem like a spoiled brat or anything. Like she's doing something, and she's making sure the employees of the place are safe. Like, Cindy's cool. Are you gonna be okay? See, she's checking on me. She's checking on me immediately. Sure, why wouldn't I be? Why am I so dismissive? Why am I so dismissive? There was a creepy guy in the store. That guy seemed fixated on you. You scoffed ironically. What's wrong with me? Come on, me? Yes. Yeah, I don't get it either. Okay, ouch. But what if he follows you? Thank you. The voice of reason right here. That's not going to happen. He left hours ago. There's no way he stayed lurking around here. I don't know. Your danger sensor isn't very accurate, I'd say. Danger is subjective. That's not true. Why do you care so much? I thought you hated me. Cindy was surprised by your words. She averted her gaze, playing with the mop handle she had in her hands to clean before closing. I don't hate you. I just think being with you is boring. We're co-workers. Well, wait. Yeah, well, you're not exactly the life of the party. Why am I an asshole? Why am I such an asshole? Why am I so, like, dismissive, mean? Why am I such a mean person? Why am I an idiot? Whatever. I don't mean it in a bad way, really. I feel peaceful with you. Oh. Your disregard for everything could be tiresome, but it's also comforting, in a way. We should, like, this should be our best friend. Like, listen to Cindy. You scratched your head, not knowing how to react to Cindy's words. She never said anything nice to you until now. Well, yeah, your coworkers, you're not obligated to, like, compliment each other every morning. Cindy cleared her throat, looking away with an embarrassed grimace. What I mean is, I don't want anything bad happen to you. You took a step towards her and placed your hand on her shoulder, smiling calmly. I'll be fine. Just because something weird happened doesn't mean the universe has decided to turn against me. You know what? If I die, I'm totally fine with it. I'm an idiot. I'm a dumbass. If I die because of this stupid shit I'm saying to Cindy, I deserve it. You know what? I deserve it. You shared a final farewell gesture before you closed the door behind you. The store sign indicated it was closed, and you sighed, feeling the weight of adult life and the capitalist world lift a little from your shoulders. Just a little. It was part of the routine, saying goodbye to Cindy and finally going home. You'd lived on your own since you started working, so you had no extra responsibilities to worry about, which gave you space to focus on your own needs. It wasn't an extraordinary life, but it was functional. That's chill as heck. You worked during the week, earned enough money for rent and bills, and rested on the weekends. Even though the street was well lit, the atmosphere remained gloomy as you walked towards your apartment. It had always been like this. Nothing to fear, right? Suddenly, you hear quick footsteps behind you. You turned to react, but felt arms wrapped tightly around your neck, immobilizing you. You struggled to break free, but then you felt the pressure in your stomach. A cold sensation branched from your stomach to the rest of your body, and you could swear you felt your guts spilling out. Your body convulsed after being pierced, and that's when the pain hit. It hurt a lot. It was so intense, you couldn't feel your limbs. Is this how you were going to die? You knew it would happen eventually, but you didn't know it would hurt so much. Who could have done this to you? Something so cruel. Did you even deserve it? You weren't a saint, but you didn't consider yourself a bad person. The last thought that crossed your mind was that Cindy would have to cover your shift while they looked for a replacement. You died. You know what? I'm not even mad at that. Ending one you didn't get his attention? Okay. All right. So that was cool. Let me go back here. Did I have like something to... Did I have a choice elsewhere? Oh yeah, I had choices here. Okay, let me just see if that was like the first. Okay, yeah, that was the first choice. Skip. Okay. So let me save here. This is where the first decision is. So, movies are okay. They don't excite you much. The fact that you do your job well, you need to know at least one decent movie from every genre to make it more convenient. You don't even have to watch them. You can just get by with the opinions from people who do like movies. The place is colorful enough to not depress you. Okay, that's the same. No, skip. Aisle 2. Soggy. And then, this is where we make the second decision. Thank him. Thanks, mister. Don't call me that. I'm not that old. Okay, so +1 here. So the second thing is Cindy being like, did he say anything strange to you? What if I say yes? He asked for my name. Huh? Why? He picked up my badge, I guess, to verify it was mine. Cindy held her chin thoughtfully. It was a little weird, I guess. Cindy looked at you in silence for a few seconds, then sighed. If it makes you uncomfortable, I can ask him to leave. Cindy shook her head, glancing at the guy. You're probably right. Okay, this is the same now. Okay. I think this is way better. Wait. Blah, blah, blah. This is the success route. So let me put whatever. So we meet his gaze here. That's correct. So this, I'm probably going to have to choose horror, right? Actually, wait. Let me put this here. Number 2. And then this can be like number 2 is the good save. So let's choose horror. Okay. You enjoy the scares and the atmosphere that horror movies create. You're about to pick a movie until the sudden sound of someone leaning on the counter in front of you distracted you. Again, the stranger was there, this time in front of you, looking intently at the CD in your hands. What movie are you gonna put on? Excuse me? I want to know what movie you're gonna put on. Is that a crime? No, of course not, but... Come on, I'm undecided. Maybe you can inspire me. You looked at him in silence for a moment, then sighed with wariness. Oh, okay. Scream is a thriller slasher. Tremors... I don't remember that movie. I don't remember Tremors. I think my mom watched that. Paranormal Activity, Supernatural, Pulse. I don't remember that. The Thing is a classic. I love The Thing. Black Swan. That's a psychological horror. It's very good too, by the way. I like Black Swan. I don't know what this is. Pulse. What do you think Jeff would like? Paranormal? Exorcist? He probably likes Scream. He likes stabbing. Yeah. Oh, a classic slasher. Interesting. Well, did that help you decide? The guy cocked his head. Now you knew for sure that was his way of showing mockery. A little. Though what caught my attention most was the genre you chose. You raised an eyebrow. Oh, yeah? What about it? Horror. His tone dropped. Interesting choice. It was always something about the person who prefers it. Like what? That you're looking to feel something real. Or you want fear to have a face. Something you can understand, even if it means danger. His words were soft. But they pricked like needles on your skin. Or maybe I like strong emotions without putting myself at risk like everyone else. But you're not like everyone else. Well, that phrase needs to be removed from the visual novel bingo card. He moved a little closer to the counter. He didn't invade your space, but it was as if he caressed it. You don't seem to be afraid. Should I be? Depends. Do you prefer to see horror from the outside or have it stare back at you? Go with it. I guess it depends how pretty the face of horror is. He tilted his head slightly, as if you said something he didn't quite expect, but he didn't seem surprised either. Wow. Keep in mind that sometimes pretty things bite too. He glanced at the shelves for a second as if looking for something, but it was obvious he wasn't. Or maybe you like being bitten, who knows? He shrugged, as if downplaying his own words. He extended a finger and drew circles on the counter surface. He was pretending to think, ignoring you, but aware of your presence. For your mental sanity's sake, you needed to hurry him up. Okay. Got it. So we did good so far. Be direct. Hey buddy, could you hurry up? What's the rush? There aren't many other customers besides me. Do you even want to buy anything? The guy chuckled. I'm just indecisive. I'm not bothering anyone. You glanced back, searching for Cindy, just to feel some security that you weren't on your own. But unfortunately, you didn't see her anywhere. Then, without you asking, he reached a hand over the counter. I'm Jeff. I think it's time we formally introduce ourselves, don't you, Soggy? Your gaze drops to his hand. High five him. Jeff laughed loudly, drawing attention of the few remaining customers in the store. You couldn't help it, but you also laughed at your action. Hey, don't exaggerate. They're watching us. Why? Are you embarrassed for them to see you? It's not that. You're bothering the customers. Heh, right. I didn't take you for someone who'd easily get embarrassed. As just someone who works in a store, you should convince the customer to buy as much as possible, but something told you Jeff would take his sweet time. You watched him in silence for a few seconds, observing his thoughtful posture. If he was insistent on prolonging the interaction, you were allowed to make him uncomfortable too, right? You single? Jeff stumbled in place, turning his gaze to you. He remained silent for a few seconds, recovering from the initial surprise, then tilted his head with a teasing touch. What if I'm not? Flirt. I wouldn't mind sharing. You rested your chin on your hand, raising an eyebrow playfully. Jeff cleared his throat against his bandana, hiding what you suspected was a chuckle. At least you made him laugh. Well, did you decide what to get? Jeff refocused his attention on you. Wow, it seems like you really wanted to get rid of me. Answer sarcastically. No, not at all. I love wasting time with weirdos who talk in circles, as if they're lost in a supermarket. Jeff's eyes widened, feigning offense. Hey, that was mean. You're gonna make me cry. I hate the voice I'm making for him, but I just can't. That's just what he sounds like to me. He clutched his chest dramatically, then chuckled again. This time his laugh was softer, more genuine. I don't know if this was funny because I talked to you, or because I ruined your day. The statement came out with an unsettling frankness. You didn't know how to react, but you knew that in the end, Jeff had done things on purpose. Well, at least you admit you weren't exactly a delight. Sure, I'm not an idiot. I know what kind of reaction I get from people. Jeff shrugged, tilted his head, questioning and mocking. Do you treat all customers like this, or am I special? You couldn't help but let out a small laugh at his words. You know what? I don't usually spend so much energy on strangers, but you earned it. Jeff straightened up suddenly, pleased, as if he'd been told he achieved a great feat. I'll take it. For a moment, you thought Jeff meant he appreciated your words until you noticed his eyes were fixed on the movie you had chosen to put in the player. Oh, great. You said it with relief. Finally, Jeff would take something. And it was something you knew he liked. You felt good about doing your job well, after all. Thanks for shopping with us. Jeff nodded, taking the movie in its bag, and headed for the exit. It was a pleasure, Soggy. He waved goodbye, and you reciprocated with your own hand, though it's not as enthusiastically as his. Well, you managed to sell something to the weirdo of the day. It was an accomplishment, after all. Your work day was over. All in all, it was quiet. Night had fallen, but there was no reason to worry since you lived a few blocks away. Okay, so this is the same now. Cindy's turn to close the store. Hopefully nothing happens to Cindy. She's the only, normal person in this entire game. See, she's checking on me. She's a, 10 out of 10, awesome person. Okay, so now we are walking home. I'd always been like this, nothing to fear, right? It was then that you felt your arm being pulled violently to one side. Maybe you should have been more alert. You were dragged into an alley beside the street. It was slightly darker, but a street light nearby allowed you to distinguish what was in front of you. Since the sudden action disoriented you, you were slow to react. What the? The sound of a slight blow to the side of your head interrupted you, and you realized the person had cornered you against the brick wall behind you. You glanced at the person's arm, the familiar white sleeve covering an arm reaching out from your blind spot. You grew tired of the suspense and finally looked up at the person who had cornered you. You had an idea who it might be. Soggy, we meet again. Hi, dude. Uncertainty filled you at the sight of a white, scarred face. Jeff had removed his hood and bandana, revealing his face. His skin varied in colors and textures. His nose was sunken. His milky blue eyes were deep set in dark circles, and you were certain you hadn't seen him blink once. What caught your attention most was a scar that ran across his mouth. It didn't look like a clean cut. and the way it distorted his expression sent a shiver down your spine. You assumed his face would have imperfections he'd want to hide to avoid stares from strangers, but considering the bizarre situation, it wasn't surprising. Jeff? Certainly. You were at a disadvantage here, so you tried to think of ways to turn the tables. Wow, who would have thought at night someone alone, gloomy alley, a classic. Jeff chuckled at your sarcasm. You don't drop the act, huh? Then he pulled a knife from his hoodie pocket. Now, make sure you give me a good show. His voice was raspy, accelerated, with an anxious tone. He seemed impatient. A show? Fear's exquisite. He whispered, almost, and unnecessarily, poetically, leaning towards you, his breath grazing your face. Hey, no offense, but your whole approach feels very cliché. Jeff tilted his head to the side. You would have sworn it was his equivalent of raising an eyebrow. If he had eyebrows. This isn't a time for jokes, don't you think? Well, yeah. I don't really know what motivated you to attack me. I thought we were getting along. Jeff pressed the width of the blade against your cheek, the cold metal against your warm skin. Are you asking what makes you special? Is being special having you drag me into a dark alley? Wow, you must not be very popular. Jeff snorted in annoyance. He grabbed your shoulder with the hand that had cornered you, slammed you against the wall behind you. You felt your head hit the rough texture of the hard surface, making you wince. Tease him. Harder. Jeff released you and stepped back a couple of paces as if you burned him. His expression reflected surprise, and it was a bigger reaction than you expected. Relax, I'm just kidding. That wasn't funny. It was to me. Shut up, this shouldn't be funny. You should be afraid. Jeff approached again, raising the knife to your neck. Instinctively, you pulled away from the blade, feeling the tip pierce your chin. You're in an alley at night with a knife at your throat. So I'll ask you again. Are you afraid? I'm somehow choosing the right choices here, somehow. But no. Fuck Jeff. You never feel like dealing with this sadistic madman. Keep participating. Jeff's smile fell suddenly. Oh, so that's how it is. A sharp, intense pain that branched from your stomach to your fingertips invaded you, taking your breath away. Okay, so this kills me. Okay, so... This is so funny. Fuck, Jeff. Yes, I'm afraid. Jeff hadn't made much of an impression on you. You were aware your situation was dangerous, but it really couldn't matter less to you. Anyway, it seemed fun to see what would happen if you messed with him. For now, you decided to play along. You know what? Yes, I'm afraid. Also, his forehead long as heck. Look at that. Am I crazy? His forehead long as heck. You got a massive forehead, dude. He lowered the knife, but kept it in his hand. He wasn't threatening you. Maybe he wanted to keep having fun with you. Good, good. This is what I wanted to hear. Typical. Now, what scares you about me? Evidently, Jeff enjoyed seeing fear in his victims. For now, you managed to keep him happy enough to maintain a conversation with you. But maybe he wanted to dig deeper. Perhaps he liked knowing in detail what he provoked in his victims. That's funny. Can you accept the challenge of indulging him? He's going to kill you. He's insane. Face, voice, the voice. You guys like my voice for Jeff? He's going to kill you. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. What's the prize? Jeff didn't seem to appreciate your sarcasm, but he took it well. I could think of a few. This is more fun than I thought it would be. Anyway, why are you attacking me? Jeff stared at you in silence for a few seconds, his smile static. You felt like demanding he blink. I think killing you will be fun. Great. You had hoped he was just a simple thief going through an angsty teenage phase and only wanted to scare you, but it turns out he was a madman who genuinely intended to murder you. You hit the jackpot, and I thought I had won your heart. Oh, that takes a lot more than just one day. That seemed like useful information. But for the future, you should focus on surviving now. I know, let's play a game. Play what? A simple game of tag. What happens if I win? I'll let you go. That's what you'd like me to say. Ha 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 ha. He was an idiot. A very dangerous idiot. You had to choose carefully. I chase you. Jeff stumbled over his words, not having expected that response. Jeff straightened up over you, analyzing you in silence. His face was strangely expressionless, you assumed because, with his mouth mangled as it was, he was condemned to have the same expression permanently. Suddenly, you felt your neck squeeze tightly, making it hard to breathe. Instinctively, you raised your hands and pulled at Jeff's arms, an impulse from your body to try and fight. Fear me. The complaint sounded almost childish, despite coming from a threatening man. You tried to respond, anything, but your vocal cords were being squeezed too tightly. You managed to hear his murmur before you felt the pressure on your neck release. His hand remained on your neck, but only pressed enough to immobilize you. You coughed and gasped for air, trying to recover your breath. But then you realized Jeff was again almost on top of you, knife in hand. You felt a pang of pain in your cheek, but it was for an instant. Jeff made a clean cut on the skin of your left cheek. You felt the tickle of a thin line of blood running down your jaw. Why aren't you afraid? Jeff examined you in silence, as if looking at your reaction would give him a satisfying answer. It wasn't as if you didn't really feel anything. You recognized the situation was dangerous. Your body knew it from the strong pounding of your heart. But as it has been from the start, you didn't care. He wanted you to fear him, but since he was threatening your life, and you didn't truly care about dying, consequently, you didn't fear him. Defy him. Uh-oh. You looked him directly in the eyes. So much drama for this. Jeff's mouth twisted. You're just a generic killer stalking your victim and taking them into an alley. If you wanted to make a better impression, you could be more original. Suddenly, Jeff's extended mouth quirked up. Quirked up. Strange sight. It was hard to see, but... Jeff plunged the knife into below your ribs, taking your breath away. Okay. We can't quirk up. Guys, hot tip, don't quirk up. Don't quirk up. No quirking up. Give up. You lowered your gaze, but not out of fear. Rather out of weariness. What would you leave behind if you died? Not much. You don't have like that you're gonna leave behind like your PS5, your PS6, your PS7. Like, think of all the PlayStations you're leaving behind. What would you leave behind? Leave in the comments below. Not much. So you don't care anymore? I'm sorry, Jeff, but I don't have fear to give you. Jeff remained silent for a second until you noticed his smile suddenly widen. He slowly leaned towards you and licked your wounded cheek, wiping away the line of blood. His breath brushed against your skin, warm and damp. The touch of his tongue burned on the wound, making you hiss. Hiss? Am I a snake? You could accept him licking you. He was just being weird. Me personally, nah. But you couldn't shake off what he wanted to tell you with that action. Plead? Okay, that music cue, don't plead. Tease him. Lick me? How romantic. I'm melting. Maybe if you tease him enough, he'll leave you alone? You had to try. Jeff growled through gritted teeth, slamming you against the brick wall again. You let out a groan of pain from the impact. Why don't you fear me? I don't know what you want me to say, Jeff. Jeff lowered his head, seemingly disappointed. You glanced around hesitantly, not knowing what to do. But then he straightened up again, his smile so wide his lips were taut. There's nothing I can do if you don't fear death. But I can make you fear me. He raised the knife again, but not to stab you in the vital spot. Instead, he slowly brought the tip to your face, level with your left eye. So we'll do this, Soggy. You swallowed hard at the distorted vision of the knife tip millimeters from your pupil. I'm going to hunt you. Every time I catch you, I'll hurt you, and every time you avoid me, I'll back off a little. Jeff's eyes trembled, almost white, like two spotlights in the dark. Wait. You lost the first round. Jeff dictated, pushing his hand forward. The blade dug into the corner of your eye, almost grazing your eyelid. You screamed with all your might until you felt your throat tear. Blood flowed like a small waterfall, and with your sudden body shake, blood splattered. Jeff laughed, satisfied with your action, and pushed the blade deeper, burrowing into the soft flesh of your eyeball. Ah! You choked on your saliva, on the verge of vomiting from the unbearable pain. Your hands flailed at Jeff's chest, but you didn't move him an inch. Jeff violently shook the knife handle, moving it deeper into your eye. He shook the knife a little more and pulled, managing to yank out your eyeball, still connected by veins. What's happening? Is anyone there? Like heavenly bells, you managed to hear voices of other people coming from nearby, but you no longer had the strength to stand. Oh, there's my eyeball. You collapsed to the ground, your left eye socket bleeding from the raw wound. Your vision was blurry and damaged, and there was no way to trust what you saw. You could only focus on what you heard. Remember our game, Soggy. Jeff murmured softly, his voice echoing from behind you. You managed to feel the footsteps of several people heading your way, so you surrendered to exhaustion and pain. Okay. So, that was day 1. That went so good, guys. That went so well. Wow, I can't believe I looked like that this whole time. Wow, I think this was so successful and so great. I really love how he is very attentive with his eyeballs, and he has a really nice sweater. Is there a good ending to this? Like, does Cindy save us? This was fun. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more fun. And yeah, I'll see you in the next visual novel part of, maybe I continue this, maybe I don't know. You let me know if I continue this or not. Okay, bye.